Hi, welcome to the FCB1010 online editor video tutorial. In this video, we will show you everything you need to know to make the most of this fantastic tool. Let's start by powering up the unit in global configuration mode. Plug the power cable into the FCB1010. Insert the power cable into the wall socket. Press and hold the down switch. Then power on the unit. Wait for the direct select LED to illuminate. You can now release the down switch. Press the down switch again without holding it. The config LED will illuminate. Great! The unit is now in global configuration mode. Let's connect it to the computer. We can connect the FCB1010 to the computer using the MIDI ports on an audio interface that is already plugged into the computer. This is the preferred method. Using a pair of MIDI cables, connect the MIDI out port of the unit to the MIDI in port of the audio interface and the MIDI in port of the unit to the MIDI out port of the audio interface. Awesome! Let me show you another method to connect the unit before we move on to the online editor. Another way to connect the FCB1010 to the computer is through a USB to MIDI adapter. Although depending on the quality of the adapter, this method may only be reliable for reading data from the unit rather than writing data back. Plug the USB to MIDI adapter into both the unit and the computer. If your adapter has input and output LEDs, you can press switch 6 on the unit to test the connection. The output LED should blink. If it doesn't, swap the MIDI connectors and try again. The FCB1010 is now plugged into the computer. Let's move on to the online editor. The editor has two modes of operation. The first is viewer mode, which allows us to import, visualize, and back up data from the unit. This is the default mode. Let's check it out. In Google Chrome, go to FCB1010.online. A prompt will appear asking for permission to control and reprogram your MIDI devices. Press Allow. Then, on your FCB1010, press switch 6. Good. The editor will display the current configuration of your FCB1010 and confirm that its data has been received successfully. Let's create a backup. Click the right button under the title SysEx file to download a SysEx backup. You can also download a JSON backup by clicking the right button under the title JSON file. The second mode of operation is editor mode, which can be accessed via the editor button at the top right corner of the page. This mode allows you to create configurations that can later be written to the FCB1010. you can always return to viewer mode by clicking the Viewer button next to the Editor button. The top panel allows you to initialize the editor. As a starting point, you can use the data from the viewer, load an FCB1010 factory preset, or import JSON and SysEx files. The help switch toggles contextual help, and the test switch allows you to test the configuration before writing it to the unit. The panel also includes the controls to write the configuration to the FCB1010, which we will review later. The global panel shows the current global configuration of the FCB1010 if the data was imported from the viewer. Any modifications made here will be ignored by the unit. Each preset of the FCB1010 can send up to 10 MIDI messages at once, 5 program changes, 4 control changes, 2 controlled by switches and 2 by the expression pedals, and 1 note message. The MIDI channel for each type of message can be configured globally. The channel panel covers this functionality. The FCB1010 has 10 configuration banks, each containing 10 presets. The editor represents each preset as a row, where the first column indicates the bank and the second column the preset. The third and fourth columns represent the status of switch outputs 1 and 2, and, like the channel panel, the remaining columns represent the MIDI messages with their parameters. The All preset is a special row dedicated to an editor tool that allows you to write configurations in one go to all presets within the same bank. The secondary panel of each preset can be opened and closed by clicking its preset number. Inside, click the green button to copy the preset, and then, in the secondary panel of another preset, click the yellow button to paste it. Although the FCB1010 can trigger 10 MIDI messages at once, a user will typically want to trigger only 2 or 3. In the secondary panel, you can turn the desired MIDI messages on or off. Disabled messages are shown in a dimmed color. Auto-increment is a tool that automatically numbers rows in sequence within an area, using the first row of each column as the starting number. It works across all banks. To toggle the auto-increment menu, press any bank number. The message parameters of every preset in all banks will turn blue. Then select the start point by clicking on a parameter value. The cell will turn yellow and a flag will be displayed on the row of the start point. Choose the endpoint, which can be in another parameter, preset, or even in another bank. While hovering, the affected cells will turn blue with white text. Click to execute the changes. The values of the selected cells are now in sequence. To exit the auto-increment menu, press any bank number. To write the configuration to the FCB1010, first select the correct output device from the list in the top panel. Then, click the Write button next to the list. A prompt with instructions will appear. On the FCB1010, press number 7 to enable writing to memory. Next, in the editor, press the Send button on the prompt. The LEDs of the FCB1010 will blink once. Then, still on the FCB1010, press and hold the down switch to exit global configuration mode. The unit will display a countdown from 9 to 0. Once complete, release the down switch and the unit will be ready for performance. If you want to support the project, you can click the last button in the top right corner to give us a tip. The FCB1010 online editor is a free online application, and we appreciate the support of our users as it helps us keep the server running and continue adding new features, such as UNO firmware and Eureka Prom support. Thank you for watching this tutorial.